So I want to balance the equation above by setting up a linear system. We know that we're going to have four variables because we have four compounds. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find the value for w, x, y, and z. What numbers are going to go in front of each of those to do that? In order to solve, what I need to do is I need to create an equation separately for each of the elements. So in this problem I have three of them: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So let's make three lists. And now let's go through each one separately. So for carbon, I have 6 carbon with W. So as far as the equation goes, then I would get 6W. There's no carbons with X. The arrow is the equal sign. There's 1 carbon with Y, and no carbons with Z. So carbon's done. There's my first equation. If this is going to balance, then 6W has to equal 1Y. So for hydrogen, I do the same thing. 6W, there's again 6 hydrogens with W, no hydrogens with X, the arrow is the equal sign, no hydrogens with Y, and 2 hydrogens with Z. And last but not least, I have to do oxygen. And so oxygen, if you notice, there's no oxygens with W. There's 2 oxygens with X. The arrow is the equal sign. There's 2 oxygens with Y. And there's also 1 oxygen with Z. And so there's my 3 equations. Now to solve this system, I'm going to have to use the calculator or the software on the computer. So what I did for you was if I scroll now back to the original equation, we now can see that we should have 2 C6H6 plus 15 O2, and that would be 12 CO2 and 6H2O. And we can check it by balancing out the atoms. For carbon, 2 times 6 is 12, 12 times 1 is 12, good. For hydrogen, 2 times 6 is 12, 6 times 2 is 12, that's good. For oxygen, 15 times 2 is 30, 12 times 2 is 24, 6 times 1 is 6, 24 plus 6 is 30. Everything balances out. We're all set. I typed it in myself, and you'll see this this answer if you do it correctly. 6W equals 1Y, 6W equals 2Z, and so on and so forth. And then here's the solution. Remember, though, we talked about how the solution was kind of funny because we get everything in terms of one of the variables, in this case W. So that means W is free. We can choose whatever we want for W, but the best thing to do for W is to pick something that will make it not a fraction and small. So we look at the common denominator. Now in this case, there's only one denominator, 2, so that makes it really easy. So we'll make W equal 2, and then the rest fall in line by plugging it in. So X equals 15 times W over 2, which is 15. Y equals 6 times W, which is 12. And Z equals 3 times W, which would be 6. And so I've got 2, 15, 12, 6. So if I go back to my